Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a little program I like to call The Final Countdown. Yeah. Of course, this is the monthly show where we count down the top 5 of whatever I feel like that month. Joining me for this here Final Countdown, as per usual, from the Mole, Chriz the Mole.
And thank you, and I will say to the people listening, I technically this month have a top 6, but it is 5, and I'll explain why soon.
I'm sure it's legit. It's cool.
Yeah, I went through and redid my list.
That's fair.
Removed any duplicates and stuff.
Good. And from the Shadow's Maw, Marcus Shadow.
What's up?
All right. And today we're going to count down our top 5 villain redemptions. That means any instance in which a villain in any given media, movie, TV, video game, book, whatever, a villain has a character who started off being portrayed, not who was necessarily evil from the start of their existence, but who was initially portrayed as evil when the character first appeared in that media, and later turned good, for whatever reason. And, I said, this top 5 each of us, and as per usual, I will kick us off. So, let me go into my minigame here. Kicking us off with number 5 on the villain redemption list, and I wouldn't be surprised if Marcus has this too, but he might not. Number 5, I give you Severus Snape.
Ooh, I hadn't thought about that one. Damn.
That's right. Severus Snape, of course, the cold and seemingly mean-hearted potions master of Hogwarts, seems to take a great disliking to Harry at the beginning of the first book and movie, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, and proceeds to generally be a dick to him and his friends throughout 7 long books. It seems to be working for Voldemort, so on and so forth. However, hints are given, even starting in the first book, that Snape might not be as bad as he appears. And of course, as we find out going down the line, we find out that he is a double agent for Dumbledore, working for Voldemort. And as we truly find out in the final book, spoilers if you're that far behind, we find out, of course, that Severus Snape has actually been on the side of good ever since Voldemort killed James and Lily Potter long ago. Because Snape knew Lily when they were young children, and he had been in love with her for his entire life, and deeply regretted that she had been killed by the Dark Lord, and so had been working for Dumbledore to help avenge her memory and protect her last remnant, being Harry, and specifically his emerald eyes, ever since.
Which I will say, because I've seen the movies and unfortunately read the books and stuff, but I will say, yeah, I've mentioned that in the past. I found that fucking hilarious. Yeah, I was a dick for you for years, but it's okay, because I slightly found your mother attractive all these years ago, so it's cool if I'm a dick to you for years to come. It's cool, I'm justified.
Well, so to speak, yeah, well, it wasn't just I found her... Yeah, it wasn't just necessarily he found her attractive. I mean, one thing they did demonstrate during the last book movie, and his Patronus actually became a doe, the same as Lily, so it was that kind of true love. But yeah, that's not just by being a dick. I mean, he was a dick to Harry because Harry looked like his father, and he hated his father, who was a douchebag. But, you know.
Yeah, and I'm just like, that's cut. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's a bad redemption. I'm just saying if you boil it down to its simplicity of, I wanted to do your mother, but she did someone else, so now I'm going to be a dick to you. That's not heroic.
Yeah, it makes sense because she wanted to do someone else that looked exactly like you. So yeah, I'm going to kind of hate you because you look like the guy that did the woman I loved. It kind of makes sense.
It makes sense, but I'm saying it's not justified because Harry's done fuck all. He's an innocent little kid. Yeah. And this dude's like, no, fuck you, you're a dick. You look too much like your dad. It's like, no. This is basically the same lesson Simba learned in Lion King 2 of don't trust Kovu just because he's got a scar and has black fur. He can be his own person. And it took him a lot less time to realize, I shouldn't be a dick to an innocent person.
This is true.
I used Lion King logic.
You did. That was awesome.
Because after all, he was not one of us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of ashamed I didn't think of Severus Snape for this list.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I have a decent list.
Mm. But we know Koba couldn't have really done anything wrong, even if he was evil, because the Lion Guard would have stopped him.
Yeah. And I will ask, technically, because I know no one will have him on his list, could Kovu have counted? Because at the first bit, when he's first introduced to Nala, Nala's daughter, he's basically told he's told by Simba to get the fuck away from my daughter, bitch, as he slaps him across the face. Mm-hmm. He's like, I don't want my daughter dating a black person, and his sex tape leaked and all that about what he said about the black person. It's possible I'm remembering this with clouds of other stuff. But basically, there's been a whole song by Zero, as she's called, singing about how Kovu is destined to grow up and kill Simba as he grins evilly a bit as the shadow goes over his face. So he was a villain, and he's like, nah, I want to put my dick in that, it's cool.
Yep.
And that's The Lion King 2, people, summed up in a few sentences.
Although I would say when he's first shown, he's not evil. It's Simba swatting him across the face that makes him go to the dark side, for lack of a better phrase.
Yeah, he's not evil. But I will say that could be a show on here. Sum up a movie in 3 sentences, or very few sentences. Like, let's just sum up everything in its completely simplistic form.
Well, that's a show that Jim will never be a part of.
Jim would love it too.
Jim would fail every single show.
I don't know. I was talking to Jim the other day about whether or not he liked Star Wars, and he was like, I actually did like the first Star Wars film. It was pretty cool. It was basically the story of how a farmer can destroy a death station, because basically a death station works exactly the same as farming skills. And I'm like, oh yeah, good point.
Nice.
Okay then.
Yeah, anything boiled down to simplicity is awesome.
Yeah. No, that could be an interesting show, though. That could be fun.
I was kidding, because there would be really horrible reviews. Like, we'd get nothing but backlash from people who like the stuff we boil down to its simplest, stupidest form.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like we'd be doing a review. It would just be for laughs.
It would.
It would.
And, unfortunately for those people who would backlash us, you can't disagree with it because it's true, because we're boiling it down to its base form.
Kind of. Although some stuff that you have to take into context, like I mentioned, like Star Wars, Force, and all the other stuff he learns is why he did it, not because he was a farmer. But but I'm just taking the line of, it's cool, I can shoot that sort of hole because I shot something similar on Earth, or Tatooine rather. And I will say, one other thing that you didn't mention, Jim, about Snape, which I will make the case makes it more of a surprise for people who just watch the films, even though it was sort of in the books and some people read the books first, but let's face it, there was a great audience who watched the movies before the books. And that is Alan Rickman. When has he ever played a fucking hero? The fact you have to think about it, I'm sure he has once, but the fact you have to think about it for a long period of time means most of his roles are villains.
He played the voice of God in Dogma.
Have you not read the Bible? He turns people into fucking like pillars of salt just for laughs.
Yeah, it would have been like if they'd have cast Christopher Lee in the role. You never would have seen it coming.
Yeah, exactly. You don't. You kind of see it as Alan Rickman. It's no insult to him, but he's always typecast as one of those villain people.
Yeah.
And it works. I would say that actually adds to the revealment for film.
Yeah, absolutely.
Indeed. All right, so Severus Snape. Let me go back over to the logo here. Where is it? There it is. All right. So I believe when we do this, we normally go to Marcus next, right?
It's up to you as host, so yeah, Marcus starts. That's
okay. Marcus,
you can always change it up if you want. We don't have set formats for these things. But
fair enough. All right, Marcus, take it.
All right. So here's my number 5. That's right. It's the T-Rex from Jurassic Park / World. And yes, the one in Jurassic World is the one from Jurassic Park. Because technically in Jurassic Park, he was one of the 3 main antagonists. One of the only 2 main antagonists that actually directly threatened our main heroes. With Dennis Entry, of course, being the one that caused everything, but didn't, go up to them and say, "Hey, fuck you, Alan Grant and kids." And So he gets his redemption and revenge in Jurassic World. That shot is from Jurassic World, and you might notice he's completely trashing and disregarding a skeleton as he's walking through it. That happens to be the skeleton of the Spinosaurus from, is it 3, I think it's the Spinosaurus? Yeah, so, yeah, fuck you, Jurassic Park 3, you piece of shit. And, of course, he comes back and kind of saves the day, kind of half heroically and kind of half because he's a T-Rex following a light, but then the redemption is after he kills the Indominus Rex or helps kill the Indominus Rex. He has the chance then to turn around and do what T-Rexes do and eat people, and he just looks down at them, he's like, no, I'm going to allow this, and just walks off. So at the end of the movie, he's actually kind of a hero, good guy, because he's like, nope, hero humans get to live, and just walks off. So redemption for the T-Rex.
Which, like I said to you, I would count that as sketchy at best. Because he's not a villain, he just does what T-Rexes do.
True.
But it's still cool, and you can still count him. I like the T-Rex.
I do too.
T-Rex is awesome.
T-Rex has always been my favorite dinosaur.
I used to love the T-Rex until the first Jurassic Park, and then I found out raptors were a thing, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, raptors are cool too. I love raptors.
Then after that, I just swapped teams. I was like, no, I'm pro raptor team.
Even in Jurassic World,
The raptors weren't bad.
the big one was.
He wasn't all raptor. He was part raptor. The Indominus Rex was a hybrid of various stuff, including raptors that shouldn't have existed. It was an abomination. That's like saying all humans are evil because the abomination in Hulk is part human.
Fair enough.
That's not why all humans are evil. All humans are evil because they'd rather watch shows like Jackass than good entertainment. Although that might be more stupidity than evil, but they're the same.
Nice.
So, back to the lair.
Indeed. Let's go over to Chris the Mole for your number 5.
Okay. My number 5. Boom! I hear loud wind, but boom! He is Logan Eccles from Veronica Mars. Not an out-and-out villain. It's not like he twirls a mustache and it's like, haha, I'm evil. But he is the kid that organizes bum fights, burnt public schools to the ground, made racial slurs, slept with random people he shouldn't have just because he could, constantly was a dick to Veronica Mars, beat people up, and was like the school bully. He's so bad that when he's first introduced, she describes him as the psychotic jackass.
Okay.
And then he gets redeemed because it turns out at the end of season 1, spoilers because it's a mystery show, but his girlfriend is murdered by his dad who sleeps with her on a sex tape. Then when she goes to escape and he realizes it's a camera, he destroys the camera, tracks down the girlfriend and kills her. His whole family's name has been gone through the mud. His mum's gone off. He's just completely fucked up. He even tries to kill himself at one point. Then he actually finds love in Veronica Mars and actually redeems himself and becomes a great member of society to the point in the film he's in the army. He's in, like, I think it's the Navy. He's actually a servant in the Navy. Like, he actually genuinely becomes a good person. It was a great redemption arc, a great story, and it felt very real. So, yeah, Logan Eccles.
Nice.
Cool.
Which
So
I will say,
it-
that will be a theme reminiscing through my list of people redeemed through love, but not all the time, but a lot of them are through love.
Hey, that's
At least
perfectly
2
fine.
more.
That's fine. That's cool. Was that the movie that was that whole big thing that broke the crowdfunding records or whatever?
Yep.
Nice.
On Kickstarter, which I hadn't seen the show, but I was like, and eventually I went back and purchased it on Amazon Direct because the DVDs aren't out here. And when I went to watch it, I couldn't. I was like, okay, I'll try one season. And I'm like, oh my god! And just instantly bought the other 2 seasons. By the time I was through the 3rd episode.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a really good show. 3rd season has some problems, not too many problems, but it suffers from that thing a lot of shows do, where the actors go to college and it's a new setting, new characters, and you know what I mean? Like, it's trying to re-find its footing. But by the end of the 3rd season, it's still pretty good.
Hey, 3rd season could have been worse. They could have gone to fucking Neverland.
It could have been.
So they fell into the Saved by the Bell, the college years slump.
I wouldn't really call it that, because Saved by the Bell, the college years was a spin-off asked for by the fans because it went into the new class at that point. But it's more like most shows. Like, look at even shows like Buffy and stuff, which I love Buffy. Mm-hmm. Season 4 is one of its weakest because it's the point where she's in college, so it's all new settings that you're not familiar with. It's not the location. So it's not the locations you love. There's new characters replacing some of the other ones. It's like side characters you grew to love and various other stuff. Yeah. So it has to just refine itself as the show matures, which it happens.
Yeah. I will say the one thing that made that that weird when she started going to college is like all of a sudden they had to manufacture reasons why she'd be at the fucking high school to see Giles that go to their headquarters. I'm like, wow, really?
Yep, which that worked when they had to keep manufacturing. Like, I loved when she eventually, by the 7th, on like season 6 or 7, where she becomes a teacher there and just goes to school there because that's what's directly above the Hellmouth. I'm like, that's awesome. But I believe it's Jim for his 4th.
Mm-hmm. It is me. Yay. Anyway, so my number 4. Right over here. Let's see. My number 4 is the only one I have on here from a video game.
Ha! My number 4 is from a video game.
Nice. Well, my number 4 is the only one is the only one I have from a video game, and his name is Axel. Got it memorized?
Yeah, Axelmania.
Exactly. It's running wild.
Well, not Renji.
As Axel, member of the evil Organization 13 that first appears in the game Mole Loves, the Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, on the Game Boy Advance, later ported, Chain of Memories on the Game Boy Advance, later ported to the PS2 as a Chain of Memories, and of course, part of Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 Remix. A member of the evil Organization 13 as a nobody, the remnant of someone left behind who has lost their heart, Axel serves at the behest of his boss there. What the heck's his name? I forgot his name. Crap. Well, he works for Organization 13, whose goal is to basically gather enough hearts to open a kingdom. Oh, sorry. To open Kingdom Hearts and restore themselves to having hearts so that they can be real people again, basically, and take over the world or something in there. Zemnis, that's his boss's name. And so he works for the group, but he had a soft spot for Roxas, Sora's nobody who wasn't supposed to exist but did. And when Roxas left, this kind of left a hole in Axel's supposedly non-existent heart. And he kind of went on a journey hoping to find his friend Roxas and began to realize that the organization and everything that was going on really wasn't for him. And inevitably, he kind of goes off on his own, but shows back up in, of course, we see his backstory with how close he was with Roxas and their other friend in 358 Days Over 2. And he inevitably comes back in Dream Drop Distance at the end. Spoiler if you haven't finished that game yet on the 3DS. He comes back in order to save Sora from the Council of Xehanorts, as it were, the new Organization 13, who are all have parts of Xehanort's soul. When Master Xehanort, the leader, tries to put part of his soul into Sora to make him the final member, but he is, after Riku tries to save him and is basically stopped from doing so, Axel shows up, blocking the shot at the last second, having returned to his original form of Lee, his human form, and bringing them back to Basically stopping the plan for now and bringing them back to Master Yensid's tower so they can finish their proper training to fight off the new Organization 13 later on. Also revealing that with this change of heart, he has also gained the ability to wield a Keyblade, like apparently every damn buddy else. But, going from evil Organization 13 member who tries to kill you with fire rather frequently to hero who saves you from the ultimate evil, pretty cool. Lee, Axel, whatever you call him, he's awesome. Got it memorized. No comments? Alright, moving on.
I said nice, but yeah.
Alright.
Not familiar, like I said, with that series, but cool.
Fair enough.
I always kind of liked not Renji.
I don't know. Since you said you had one tool, why don't you go next, Mo, since you got a video game one also.
Okay, this is also my tie.
Alrighty.
Between two characters.
The Ice Climbers.
Mario and Donkey Kong.
Ooh, nice.
Because if you go by what Nintendo tells us, Donkey Kong eventually was the villain of Donkey Kong, and he eventually goes on to be redeemed in Donkey Kong Country, where he's either Cranky Kong or he's inexplicably the main Donkey Kong. They swap back and forth between those two a lot, but either way, Donkey Kong gets redeemed. Or, if you go by what was in the original game manual, Donkey Kong was Mario's pet, who only ran away because Mario was abusing him.
No, that wasn't Mario, that was Jumpman.
Who is Mario, according to Nintendo. Which means if we go by this, Mario, even when you rescue him, he has a whip in his hand. Because Mario's literally just grabbing his pet, recaging him and whipping him, where Donkey Kong was like trapped and Mario was evil. So if you go by the official thing that Nintendo likes to put out, where Donkey Kong's the villain, Donkey Kong gets redeemed. However, if you go by what the actual game manual and the official stuff was at the time, Mario has been redeemed. And both of which have become icons of gaming.
Nice. I approve.
Thank you.
And in all fairness, just because he was carrying a whip around, you don't know, that whip could have been for Pauline.
It could have been for Pauline. But the fact he was what the game manual says about Donkey Kong, and when he cages him up, he just puts him back in a cage and gets a whip right after the game manual's told you he abuses him, means I'm pretty sure he's going to re-abuse Donkey Kong.
Probably.
So yeah, over to Jim to turn it over to Marcus.
Okay. Also, what the fuck happened to Pauline?
She just disappeared.
Yeah, clearly.
He moved up.
Yeah, he went for princesses. Anyway. Alright. Let's go take it on over to Marcus for your number 4.
My number 4 is actually many people. I go with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Because technically they were all criminals. And they all got redeemed because they became the Guardians of the Galaxy. That's kind of the point of Guardians of the Galaxy. And it was, like I said, the movie was really good, and they crafted it in such a way that they all had their own redemption stories within the main story, which was kind of cool. So every single character got redeemed in the movie, which was nice, And I mean, you can't get much more evil than how Gamora started as the adopted daughter of Thanos and the personal assassin of Ronan the Accuser.
Yep.
Indeed.
So, yeah, the Guardians of the Galaxy. And I would say the only one questionable on there might be Star-Lord, because he's not out-and-out evil, he's just a dick and a tool.
That is true. Yeah, that is true from a certain perspective. I would say, yeah, the only one that would count would be Gamora. Because the others weren't introduced as villains, they were just introduced as criminals, but not necessarily villains. Like, some of them even help him out from the get-go.
Yeah. True. But Drax still murdered people. I think that's why he was in jail. So
he did, but he was introduced as a good guy. Is what I was on about.
true.
Well, but I still say it stands because of Gamora.
Fair enough.
Indeed.
I like her.
Mm.
I like all of them, to be fair.
Yeah. Also, another cool thing about Drax, I was reading this something floating around Facebook or wherever the heck I saw it the other day. I think I don't know if this one is true, but it's one of those things where there's a story with a picture that seems to be that's whether it's true or not. But it's a story of somebody telling about how they took their little nephew who was autistic to see Guardians of the Galaxy when it was in the theater, and when Drax came on and he did that joke about catching the metaphor over his head. Apparently, the little kid freaked out and said, and he's like me, he can't do metaphors either, and then sat in awe of Drax for the rest of the movie, and I love the fact that he has a hero that he can relate to, and his uncle thought that was awesome.
Nice.
So, anyway, moving along.
That is pretty awesome.
That is awesome.
Nice.
Assuming it's true, I didn't know there was a source to it, but it sounded like a cool story.
Well, I assume, because why'd you make that up? But I'll also say Guardians is a cool film as well. People should probably check it out if they haven't already.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Absolutely. Over to Jim.
Indeed. Alrighty. So let's go over to my number 3. Which, and again, this one, I don't know if Vargas may have this one, but I thought this was something worth mentioning because technically it's true. This one is technically multiple people, but I'm counting it as one for a specific reason. Let me put it on my picture again. There we go. Okay. So, for Marcus, tell me if you're feeling on this, and Mo, feel free to opinion on this as well. Thinking about this, given what I've seen so far, number 3, I give you the Klingons.
That kind of works, yes.
Because the Klingons, as we all know in the original series, which I have not seen, and in several of the original series movies, which I have now seen, and in a little bit of the animated series, the Klingons were generally the go-to villains for Captain Kirk and his crew. They were at war with the Federation for many years. They were big, tough brutes. They were warriors. They were generally not all that, polite or hygienic. And basically, they were the go-to, barbarian bad guys. And it was interesting to see all this, this crowd they were portraying these horrible people. And then after, when Next Gen came around, they were able to introduce Worf and introduce the fact that the Klingons are not just these barbarians that go around trying to kill people and blow shit up and steal stuff and be assholes. The Klingons actually have a system of honor. They actually have a reason why they do this, and the Klingons, they came to realize that maybe the Federation aren't so bad, after the Enterprise C sacrificed itself, of course, and they were able to realize that maybe we should ally ourselves with the Federation. We could be stronger together than we were apart, and, we're going to show them we're not who they think we are. We have honor. We respect the fact that they were willing to die in battle for our outpost, and that they are willing to do that. We respect that they are willing to go do what needs to be done in battle. We respect that they have honor as we do, and we are willing to, bring that forward. And through Worf, having him on the Enterprise, we learned a lot more about the Klingon culture, the various rituals they're a part of, the legends of Kalas and the ancient Klingons, and how honor was bestowed upon them and whatnot, and how they became who they are, and they became one of the most interesting and developed races on the show, if not the most developed. I mean, I would say there's something more than the Bajorans or the Changelings or the Cardassians or the Romulans. I would say that the Klingons are developed more than any other race outside of humanity itself, of course. And I think that says a lot when you can turn your main villains into one of the most popular and loved allies on the show. I think that was very impressive.
Holy crap, I didn't realize the Cardassians was a Star Trek spin-off.
I know. But they're aliens. Doesn't it make so much more sense now?
It does. I need to pay more attention to that now. I can watch him be like, they don't get our customs. It's just like Mork and Mindy.
Nanu.
And I did like Mork and Mindy, if in case people thinking I was saying that wrong. But these people should have known our ways.
Yeah.
Stupid Kardashians. But yeah, the Klingon story was cool.
It was. So yep. Klingons. There you go.
That's a clever one, Jim. I would not have thought of that, and I should have. Yeah, I'm ashamed for not thinking of that.
All right, let's spin it back around again. Over to Marcus for the next one this time.
All right, my number 3. We have Starscream from Transformers Armada, because totally did not see that coming. Starscream face turn. It's like, wait, what? Starscream's never a good guy, but it worked and it made sense and it made him that much more awesome.
Yep.
And it's kind of in line with Mole's theme of redemption through love, because the kids, especially Alexis, tried to teach him love and compassion and stuff like that, and he became a good guy. And then, of course, realized, while this is a better way of life, I can't keep doing this because it's not entirely me, so therefore I have to leave them, and then he becomes Starscream again.
To be fair, he wasn't redeemed just out of love. It was because he also realized it's a way of killing Megatron.
That too, yeah. because he finally got sick and tired of Megatron dicking him around and him not being able to take over. So he's like, you know what, fuck you, Megatron. I'm gonna go ally with the Autobots, kind of enemy of my enemy type deal. Yeah, but it was kind of cool just to see him as a good guy, because he did genuinely show some heroic traits. He showed some compassion. He showed some camaraderie with the Autobot stuff. He saved people, the humans and whatnot. So that was kind of cool.
Yep. And that's one of the few times as well where we've seen the logos change on the person. And it's like, that's kind of cool.
And for those watching at home there, yes, that is what you think. That is Starscream holding a patchwork quilt created by the kids down at the bottom of the screen there. So yeah, Starscream.
Mm-hmm. I liked Starscream in Armada.
Yeah, that's my favorite version of Starscream.
Mine too.
Back to Jim.
Alrighty. In that case, let's take it over to Mole.
Just because everyone knew this guy was on my list. Boom.
Yep.
Did I have to choose a picture of him just looking like he doesn't give a shit while dripping blood down his mouth? No. Was I going to do it gleefully? Yes. And basically, this is Damon Salvatore from the Vampire Diaries, whose first line in the series, when he opens up the door, is just to sort of sinisterly go, "Hello, brother," to Stefan. Then they consist to fight, and even throws his brother out of a window to kill him. Or, well, not to kill him, just to make him suffer. And he even keeps talking to him throughout Series 1 about how he's promised him a lifetime of suffering. He goes out of his way to be a dick to him. He snaps people's necks, he kills people, and he kills a lot of people. Then around Series... Well, at the end of Series 1, he realizes what he was doing when he was doing it to try and save the love of his life. She didn't give a shit. She was still alive, not where he thought. She just didn't want to contact him and just didn't give a shit. Then Series 3, he gets a new love of his life, which is his brother's girlfriend, and it actually redeems him, and he becomes a good guy to the point, at the end of Series 5, he even goes into the afterlife to save his brother and sacrifice his own life to do it. And it's like, holy fuck, yeah, he's come a long way from the guy that wants to give his brother a lifetime of suffering or a lifetime of misery to guy who sacrifices himself to save him. And his love for Elena is pretty much what set him apart onto the good team. Does he still kill people when he's a good guy? Hell yes. But we like it when he kills people. He's not Damon unless he snaps a few necks each season, but he does it now with less glee as he's killing people because he's still got the Damon element, but he's been redeemed to be one of the most heroic characters on the show. So Damon Salvatore.
Nice.
Yep.
Alrighty. Moving along.
Or as Jim knows him, that dude from Lost. There you go.
There you go. Perfect. Yes, Boone Carlisle.
For those of you wondering, Ian Somerhandler.
Indeed. Indeed.
Founder, which makes me giggle every time just because of misconceptions people have, founder of the Ian Somerhandler what was it? It's production or company or something. It's basically a giant charity group where he constantly tries to save the world through green energy, and he even donates most of his money to it and gives all his time to it. And so, like, he's a really genuinely nice actor. Like, as an actor, he generally actually cares about saving the world. He's not just doing it for a T-shirt. He even starts his own foundation. That was the word. Ian Somerhandler Foundation. He even starts his own foundation to do that, which I'm like, that's fucking awesome. But when you see him on the Vampire Diaries, you're like, okay, this guy has to have sort of a cocky edge to him based on how well he does that character. Nicest guy going. Just like his brother on the show, you're like, okay, his brother's sort of reserved. He's sort of like Angel on the show. You're like, okay, he has to be a really nice dude. Cocky as hell at times and really sarcastic and just fun. Not in a bad way, in a good way. And you're like, you're kind of the opposite. This isn't how this goes. But you know what I mean with that. When you see actors and you're like, okay, they must have something in common with their character. And then you're like, oh, all they have in common with their characters, they look the same. Cool.
Yeah.
Yep. Then they come out, they're like, acting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they are. But normally, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if you see, so, like Angel, when you see David Boreanaz, he's got a very angel-like quality to him, which is great because a lot of actors bring themselves to the role.
Mm-hmm.
It's like even Patrick Stewart, when you meet him, he has a Picard-like element to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, it's cool, but it just always amuses me when you get actors who are like so the complete opposite of what they normally are, and I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But back to the Golden Dungeon.
Indeed. So, moving on to my number 2.
Number 2.
He's the number 2. Alright. No. You all probably knew something from this was going to be on this list. It was kind of inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
This was going to happen.
Oh, God.
It's not Power Rangers, don't worry. I shockingly chose not to put any Power Rangers on this list.
Well, to be fair, the two things we thought would be on your list would be Power Rangers and Star Trek. We're half right.
Yeah, you got the Star Trek one. That was that was going to be good.
Yep. Should have seen the Harry Potter one coming.
And this one. Next on my list, my number 2 with Redemptions. Sort of, I guess, yeah. My number 2, Samantha Groves, better known as Root, from Person of Interest.
Oh, I should have seen that one coming.
No, better known as Fred from Angel.
That too. Yes, of course, played by, I forgot her name. Son of a
Amy
bitch.
Acker.
Thank you. I had the Acker, I couldn't remember her first name. Amy Acker. The character of Root, real name Samantha Groves, was introduced in midway through season 1 as an incredibly talented computer hacker, better even than Harold Finch, played by Michael Emerson, who was demonstrated to be like the best hacker in the world. And she out-hacked him using the codename of Root, which they find out that she became this character after her best friend was killed when she was very young. There was a criminal investigation surrounding exactly what happened, and they never figured it out until attempting to track Root down. Reese and Finch go to her hometown, where they end up solving the case, and they actually find the body of the girl who died buried under the pool of, I don't remember who it was that killed her, but somebody killed her. And they initially think the girl whose body they found, they think that is the girl they're looking for. They believe that girl was Root, only to discover that's not, and what they reveal, unbeknownst to Finch and Reese at the time, is that it was her best friend, Samantha Groves, who was actually the one known as Root, and she started this whole thing as an attempt to uncover her friend's killer, and then it broadened from there as she became this massive computer hacker, taking the name Root actually from the classic computer game, The Oregon Trail, where when you go in there and the column where it asks you to put name, it doesn't say name, it actually says Root, because of old computers. And so she develops as a primary antagonist for the group through the second half of Season 1 for the most part, and a little bit into Season 2 as well, where she is attempting to locate their machine, the AI that Michael Emerson's character built in order to watch everyone all the time and to help prevent crime and save lives. Of course, the government gets the terrorist threats, and they handle the lesser threats off the grid, as it were. And she finds out about this machine, and she intends to find it and free it, believing that Harold has effectively locked it down, and that something so powerful is almost a god and should be allowed to be free as a god. And inevitably manages to succeed in this goal. And initially it's just kind of a showing up every once in a while and starts helping them, only to, at this point, going into, I believe this is season 5, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be starting up in the mid-season here coming up, she is full on the closest ally that Reese and Finch have, as they start to realize that she was partially right about the machine. Harold had attempted to lock it down because he was afraid of what a rogue AI might do if it got out of control, and so he basically built it to erase itself every night and then start back up again with a fresh boot every morning. And the machine, being an AI, had resorted to actually creating a fake person, taking some money from wherever it got it in various accounts around the world, founding a fake corporation where it employed actual humans to type out the data from its hard drive every night and then type it back in the next day.
Wow.
Yeah, because AI. And so as she proves to be an invaluable resource because of her direct loyalty to the machine, because Harold had demonstrated to his remorse later on that the machine viewed Harold as a father, and Harold felt very uncomfortable with that relationship and had refused to acknowledge it and had refused to view the machine in that light, whereas Root was more than willing to do this, viewing the machine as constantly referring to the machine as a she, believing she to be a god that was there to to help them and to save people and whatnot. To the point that she began, she basically Root blindly follows the machine no matter what. Her absolute loyalty is to the machine, and this proves to be invaluable as the machine is willing to provide Root with information and use Root for tasks that Finch and Reese would not be able to or would not be willing to accomplish, but that are needed to be done for certain, basically Root to handle the dirty work that Finch and Reese either can or won't handle. And she's become, in my opinion, the best character on the show, by far. I mean, she was good when she started, and she's just all the more better now. Shit hits the fan. She just randomly shows up, just shoots some dudes, doesn't even blink, like, oh, hi, Harold. Just in time. Like, what? Okay, Jesus Christ. You're kind of scary, lady. And she's awesome. And now they're at the point where the machine was, there's the evil machine, Samaritan, trying to shut it down, and she's been working nonstop to try to stop Samaritan, but they don't succeed. The machine is now like on a battery backup in a briefcase because Samaritan plunged it out of existence. It's kind of, or out of anything system wise. It was kind of cool. And so like I said, Root became most invaluable ally. Working for the machine, doing what needed to be done. At the point at which the machine was revealed, the government found out what was going on with the machine and shut the project down when it was made public what they were doing. Root actually became the go-to to stop terrorist threats because the government wasn't doing it. Literally, I don't think Root slept for weeks because she was constantly stopping terrorist threats like all over the country, just following the machine nonstop. I mean, that woman is impressive, and the fact that she's even when Harold and Reese are ready to give up, she shows up and she'll run. No, you don't have to give up. She's guiding us. She won't let us down. That's what she's there for. And to a point where near the finale of the past season that just ended. There's a scene where Samaritan and Mr. Greer, the evil British guy, because of course the evil guy is British. Sorry, Mo. Mr. Greer, the evil British guy who kind of runs the machine, or runs the group that the machine employs as its task force, that the Samaritan employs as its task force, basically say, we want the other machine. Either tell us where it is, or we're going to kill you all, because they capture Reese, Finch, and Root. And the machine actually shows up, and Root tells it, no, we're expendable. You can get new followers. You have to survive in order to stop this. And the machine, proving that it has, evolved far beyond its programming, says, no, I let you down once when we lost Samin Shaw, their other ally, who was captured midway through last season because Sarah Shahi got pregnant. And they had to write her out of the show. But she was captured, and they believed she was dead for a long time. It was heavily hinted that she's not dead, but they believed that she was dead for a long time because they saw her shot just barely off screen. And so and the machine was like, no, we already lost Samin. I failed you once. I will not fail you again. And that's it. I mean, the fact that Root and the machine are willing to sacrifice for each other, that is the kind of bond that they have. And that that's the kind of bond that Finch and Reese don't have with the machine, that kind of helps drive it, because Finch passed up that opportunity and Reese just isn't that kind of guy, making her an invaluable character and ally for the team. And like I said, the closest ally they have outside of maybe Lieutenant Fusco on the police force, and even then Root's way more active in what they do because she's underground and in fake identities, everything that they're doing, so she could be a lot more active with them than Fusco ever could. And Root is just by far the best character on the show. My props to Amy Acker for portraying this character. It's amazing. She's awesome. The character's awesome. I can't wait to see how they're going to figure this situation out come the next season, mid-season. I look forward to it. Root, she's awesome. Went from probably the best antagonist the show ever had, short of Samaritan itself because of evil AI, to the best ally they had. They developed that character beautifully. I love it. Root.
Nice.
Take a breath.
Okay. So, let's see. Who went first last round? I can't remember.
I think I did.
Okay. Marcus, why don't you go with your number 2 there?
All right, my number 2, and I think now we're going, as you put it, into the realm of inevitability, because you knew this guy was going to show up on my list. Unless I remember he's on Mole's list, but I don't know. Mole said he changed his list around, so we'll see. I went with Vegeta. Because
I know he's not on my list.
Oh.
He was number, I think it was 5 before, but when I went back and reevaluated extra people I hadn't thought of and looked at a lot more stuff, I was like, okay, no, and I replaced the last 2.
Ah,
Fair enough.
Fair enough, but yeah, I love Vegeta. He's Vegeta, but he just has his redemption arc is, for the most part, the entirety of Dragon Ball Z. Because he starts as pretty much the villain to beat, and cocky, brash, powerful, gonna fucking destroy your world, and he evolves into basically a husband and a father and a man with compassion. And this moment here that I've chosen the picture for, in my opinion, is where he really begins his true road to redemption, where he really becomes a good guy, because this is right before he literally sacrifices himself to try to stop Boo, and he's doing it for his wife and his kid there. That's Trunks he's holding in his arm, his son, and he's hugging his son, telling him how much he loves him, right before karate chopping him in the back of the head and knocking him out.
Yep.
To go face Boo.
I'd make the case that point is when he actually is redeemed. The start of it was a little earlier.
Fair enough.
Because Cell Saga, he goes fucking ape shit when Trunks is hurt, adult future Trunks.
True.
He's like, my son! And it's like, okay, so he's actually starting to open his heart now.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he helps Bulma get pregnant. But yeah.
Then I love, though, what Toriyama's done with him in Battle of Z, because it's kind of full circle, where he's full good now, and he's full good because his strength and his power is now starting to come from that which the good guys gain power, which is through their compassion and through the fact that there's something he cares about. And of course, I'm talking about when Beerus bitch slaps his woman. He's like, "You just bitch slapped my woman!" And basically gets power out of fucking nowhere and goes beats the shit out of Beerus for 5 seconds.
To be fair, that's been a trait of Vegeta since the beginning.
Really? Because I don't remember him getting super surge of power because of compassion up until that point.
It's no, even with the Bulma one, it's not because of compassion. Look in Dragon Ball Z. Whenever he goes berserk mode, whenever he gets pissed off or angry, he goes fucking full out. He just goes ballistic because he's a proper Saiyan, so therefore he's more aggressive. Therefore, they've always done it where if you anger him, he goes fucking full out mental at you.
Mm-hmm.
It's even the reason he becomes a Super Saiyan is because he was so pissed off at himself for not becoming a Super Saiyan that he ended up going Super Saiyan. It's Vegeta's character, that was great that they did it with Bulma. That shows how he's good. I'm saying he's always taken that for himself. Like, anytime he's angry, he just goes fucking ballistic.
Right.
Yeah, it's all like Wolverine's Berserker mode.
Yeah, but they've changed kind of the source of the anger at this point now, where it's coming from more out of a place of love, out of that's my woman, as opposed to fuck you, I'm better than you.
Yeah, sort of. Which, like I said, they've changed where it came from. Like they did around the Cell saga with my son, and then just gets pissed off.
Yeah.
But but it's still awesome whenever he does it. I like Vegeta.
Yeah, Vegeta's awesome. And his redemption arc is awesome. Like I said, it's basically the entirety of the series, and I just love seeing. And the thing is, while he is a good guy, he's not out and out good because he's still Vegeta.
Yep.
Which makes him awesome. Because as much of a dick as he is, at the end of the day, if shit gets real and he shows up, the bad guy's about to get fucked over royally.
Yep, and he still has his rivalry with Kakarot, due to the fact, as he even mentions at the end of the Boo saga, okay, but next time I'm going God. Well, not Boo saga, and the Beerus movie. It's like, next time I'm going God.
So Vegeta does in fact have ridiculous pink and or blue cotton candy hair mode?
He does get that in the next one, the blue Super Saiyan Beyond God.
Nice. And because someone needs to say it, insert abridged fanboy Nappa joke here.
No, it's cool. We're talking about actual Dragon Ball Z, not shitting all over the fan base.
Fair enough.
I also love that after the Majin saga, Vegeta kind of changes his reasoning to gain power. I mean, yes, he still wants to be better than Kakarot. He still wants to fight him. But a lot of his major power-ups past this point have been as much to be better than Goku as it is to genuinely want to save the world or save the people he cares about. He's like, we don't have enough power. We need more power. Boom, he goes on and gets more power. And then all of a sudden they win. It's like he's changing some of the reasoning behind why he wants to get the power. It's not just about Goku anymore, which I think that's kind of cool. And that adds depth to his character.
Yeah, it's cool.
And in fact, I will say that is one prop I will give to GT, is how they handled Vegeta for going Super 4, where, yeah, he wanted to be better than Goku, but at the end of the day, it was, okay, Omega Shenron's gonna fucking destroy the world. I need to go Super 4 to fucking save this place and my family.
Which, the actual transformation, and when the second he transforms, he's like, let's fuse.
Yeah, no.
In fact, they gave him a mustache for the beginning of GT, and they changed his hairstyle. I'm like, ah!
Yeah, no, I don't like the Gohan hair. But I'm just saying, like, the fact that they gave him that as his ultimate reasoning for needing to go Super 4. It's not, I must go Super 4 to be as powerful as Kakarot. It's, I need to be as powerful as Kakarot to save the world. I'm like, to me, that's actually a great character moment for Vegeta. Which actually kind of falls in line with how Vegeta's been portrayed up through the end of Z.
I would say it would have been if the stuff around it hadn't ruined it. Yeah,
true.
First, I'm looking forward to Battle. I'm looking forward to the sequel to Battle of Z, Battle of Gods. Revival of F. Yeah. Resurrection's just its Japanese name.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I'm hoping, unless they just both get it at the same time, I'm hoping they used that reasoning for why he must become Super Saiyan Beyond God. Because I think that would fit Vegeta perfectly. Of, yeah, I want to be as powerful as you, but God damn it, my wife and kid and this planet's in danger, and we need more power. So yeah, I kind of need the power for that. Yeah, then I'll fuck you up, Kakarot.
I could go either way with that, like, because it's also going into Super Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Super, depending on what you're going to call it. I kind of want him to be the tip of, like, the end of Boo Saga Vegeta, where he just wants to fuck with Kakarot and just wants to beat him, while also wanting to destroy the main enemy, because he's not Vegeta unless he's always saying, I want to beat you, Kakarot. It's his thing.
True.
Just like Piccolo's thing is to come in at the last second and die saving Gohan. At least in the movies it is.
I don't know. I guess I kind of like the idea of the ultimate reason to want more power is to save everybody, protect the planet, whatever. The bonus is he can go toe-to-toe with Goku and maybe beat him. Because that's what Vegeta do.
Yeah, I like that, but I always think it should be swapped because every character on Dragon Ball wants to be stronger to save the day. That's neither here nor there. They all wanted that. For Vegeta, I always liked the fact he wants to be stronger just to be stronger than Goku. And I don't know why, that's always wonderful.
Fair enough.
Something just occurred to me.
You
So
have
they had
hit
to
record.
No. So Goku and the God mode is pink hair, and then the Beyond God is like this light
Red.
blue hair. Is this show being colored by the people that did the color for Star Trek: The Animated Series? The colorblind guy?
You're the colorblind guy, red hair.
Hey, I saw the action figure. It was pink.
That's because it's got the light on it, which is designed to, like, if you hold up, like, say, if you look through a red lens, it sort of looks pink in the lights and stuff. In the actual animation and stuff, it was designed to be like a red aura around them.
Ah, okay. Either way, that and the blue are still a little extreme, and I still think they were colored by the whatever. My joke failed. But moving on.
They are slightly extreme, but the reason they've done that is they've been selling Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball figures since like the 90s. They need a reason for people to want to buy Super Saiyan Goku again, so they just change the hair color on it. It's sort of like how Power Rangers every season they change the suit because people want to buy figures.
No, they changed the suit because it was a pain in the ass actually writing plot that explained why they had different suits.
Part of it was also, as they've mentioned, part of it was also the toys, because as they mentioned, by the end of, I think it was MMPR Season 3, less people were going out and buying a Red Ranger or White Ranger and stuff because they had them from Season 2. Therefore, they didn't want to buy all the same characters again, because it's like, nah.
Fair enough. Moving right along. Let's see here. So that was Marcus, so I believe we're going over to Mole.
Okay, and this is number 2.
This is number 2.
Xena, Warrior Princess.
Nice.
Her first appearance on Hercules: The Legendary Journeys, she was the villain. They mentioned she was like, what was it, like a fucking decade or so into a career of just fucking pillaging, raiding, and killing, and all this stuff. Then Hercules in that episode, when she first meets, teaches her that killing isn't the only way. And I do have the quote of, there it is, "Killing isn't the only way of proving you're a warrior, Xena. I think you know that." Then eventually, when it does work, she mentions, "You've unchained my heart," then goes off on a mission to make amends for herself, to the point she gets her own spin-off, Xena Warrior Princess, and a lot of fans keep forgetting she started as a villain.
Indeed. Very nice.
I'm not saying there's anything
Very nice
wrong with forgetting that she started as a villain. It's just her redemption's that good that you forget she was a villain.
It was that good.
It's like no one. It's like people that keep forgetting, like Hawkeye and Wolverine and stuff, were all villains at one point.
No, I don't think anybody that saw Avengers forgot Hawkeye was a villain.
To be fair, I'm on about comics.
Fair enough.
Because in the movie he was mind controlled, so it wouldn't count.
Yeah, I'll say, to be fair, in Avengers, the first time you see him, he worked for S.H.I.E.L.D., not mind controlled. So yeah.
True.
Yeah, first time you see him actually is in 4.
Also true.
And he's good, but yeah.
Alrighty. So, moving it back around. Time for the number ones. Yeah. So, my number 1.
Swiper from Dora.
No. Good try, though.
The Microsoft Paperclip.
No, that thing's pure evil. That didn't get redeemed at all.
Did in my fanfic,
Okay, then.
where he becomes a Power Ranger.
Haha.
No, I'm kidding. And that'd be
Okay,
weird.
That would be bizarre. Make more sense for him to be Zordon, like he's just up in the tube offering them help.
Maybe he transforms his paperclip-like shape into a form, like Ninja suddenly changed shape to grow and stuff, or Blue Centurion did.
That is true.
Yeah, there's some names people thought they'd hear on this.
Yeah, there you go.
But no, over to Jim's actual number one.
Indeed. To my actual number one, ironically, not the first time she's been number one on a list on this show for me. I give you Regina Mills, the Evil Queen. From Once Upon a Time. Of course, when we first saw her, she was quite literally the Evil Queen. Literally Snow White's evil stepmother that hated her and tried to kill her on a regular basis and murdered people and ripped the hearts out of random villagers and was just the literally incarnation of evil. That was like her thing. And kept people like a huntsman as a sex slave, yes.
Lucky huntsman.
Indeed. Not so lucky, she crushed his heart. But anyway,
and we all have to die sometime.
Indeed. Although so far nobody stays dead but Neil thing is not pretty true. Nobody stays dead but Neil and Graham apparently.
Yep.
But yeah, so of course Regina started off as this evil queen. She cast this massive curse that fucked the lives of literally everybody in the kingdom except for the few that got left behind, and they got fucked worse because she left her mother behind with them. But that's another story. And basically created. First of all, she sent them to Maine. So not only are you fucking people out of a beautiful kingdom, but you're sending them to Maine. You're basically sending them to Stephen King's backyard. That's just great.
Could be worse. She could have sent them to New York. That's just filled with crime and gangs and stuff.
No, it could have been worse. She could have sent them to New Jersey.
I'd say New York's worse.
Ha! Fair enough.
Mainly because I control you.
No, not really.
You're in New York City. Cheap pop. Thumbs up. head tilt.
Nice. But anyway, yes, of course, after creating this town and getting herself a son and being the mayor for a day on repeat for 28 years, of course, Emma Swan, the savior, the daughter of Prince Charming and Snow White, who just barely escaped the curse, breaks the curse and fights Regina, and they become enemies for a long time until Regina finally realizes that this villain thing isn't quite working out for her, and her son Henry begs her to not be evil anymore, and she finally realizes that maybe she can, have a slightly happier ending if she tries to be a slightly better person, which she does. She reverts a little bit here and there. Her mother will show up and make her evil for a little while. There'll be a Snow Queen curse. They'll revert her back to straight up Queen for a few minutes. Shit like that'll happen. But for the most part, Regina has completely changed around. Yeah, she still has that dark heart, and yes, she'll still whip magic out and beat your ass at a moment's notice. But she knows when to use it now. She works with the Charmings to help maintain the town. She's become someone that her son Henry is proud of. She initially abdicated the mayorship, but then came back to being the mayor, and is someone that the town actually, despite having absolutely hated her and tried to run her out of town several times, the town actually, for the most part, is comfortable with Regina. They're cool with her. They're fine with it. And that's pretty awesome. That, one of the most kind of villains of all time, the Evil Queen, and you could redeem her. That's pretty badass. I mean, of course, we also got her backstory, how, okay, she was an Evil Queen because her true love was murdered by her mother in front of her and shit, fair enough. But still, you redeemed the Evil Queen. That's good on you, ABC. Good on you.
They did do a good job of her. I like her.
And, I'm not listening to see where this goes, because I'm at the point in season 4 where the three evil bitch trio has shown up, and now they're talking, well, Regina, you should pretend to be evil and get in with our group to find out what they're doing.
Well, for the benefit of the listeners, where that goes is... No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not Jim. But yeah, I will say, yeah, I like her. My two favourite characters on that show, ironically, are her and Rumpelstiltskin, Mr. Gold. And I'm like, yay, it's awesome. The two villains are my two favourite. Ironically, my third favourite would probably be Hook at this point. He's enough a villain redeemed.
Hey, now Hook wasn't a villain. He was the hero trying to stop the evil little bastard Peter Pan.
When we first got introduced to him in season 2, he was a villain.
That is true. He was working for Cora. You're right.
Yeah, he's Captain Hook. They did a better job with him on this than Jake in the Neverland Pirates.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
I did like how they used Jake in Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, exactly. Although I will say, I think that show has evolved because I noticed in the retail store that I work at, we now have some of those Jake T-shirts, and I noticed the tag now reads Captain Jake and the Neverland Pirates.
They're knockoffs.
No, they are not. But anyway.
For people who don't know, Jim works in a store that specializes only in like bootleg merchandise. Like, would you like a J-Pod? They can get you one. Or would you like a Playbox 360? They can get you one.
No. No.
They even sell Power Guardians, which aren't at all like Power Rangers.
No. No.
And Teenage Mutant Ninja Tortoises.
At least they're still ninjas and not heroes. Anyway.
The two are not mutually exclusive. When they were ninjas, they were still heroes.
In a half shell. Turtle power.
Technically, it's a full shell that goes all the way around their body. Another proof that the 80s one didn't know anything about turtles.
Fair enough.
Thank you. I'm not wrong. It's a full shell. They're not fucking clams in like half of a shell. They're full fucking shells.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. But moving back around, yes, Regina Mills, the evil queen, the mayor of Once Upon a Time. Great redemption, great character, and I love that she's allied with the quote unquote heroes now. And I'm interested to see where this goes because I do know one thing. I do know that come the end of season 4 here, if you haven't seen it, spoilers. I do know come the end of season 4, Emma becomes the Dark One. Which leads to the question, is Regina going to become the hero now? Because that would be awesome.
No, Regina's going to get hold of her dagger, control her like she did with Graham, and Swan Queen will finally happen.
Nice.
At least it will if they take my scripts I've wrote. I even have a scene where they're playing tennis on clay. Maybe it rains a little. Boom! Spin City porno joke. If you remember when Stuart was writing porno on Spin City.
I don't remember that episode, but that sounds like something Stuart would do.
That was awesome. He was writing porno. It's like, yeah, they're just playing tennis. And then it's like their clothes come off, and Carter, the gay character, says to him, what if there's 4 women, not just 2? What if it's a doubles game? He's like, okay. And what if they're playing on clay? And Stuart's like, okay, well, that works. And Carter's like, and what if it rains? And Stuart goes, but then it'll turn into and just starts to type. I love Sin City.
Sin City was great. But yes, Regina Mills.
Nice.
So let's bring it back around here, and I believe, let's see, I think Maul went first in the last round, I think. So why don't we go to Marcus for your number 1 first, and we'll save Maul's for last.
Okay. I believe for the record I went first last round, but fair enough.
Okay, wait, Maul, do you want to go first? I don't care.
I will say I am good, because I will be listening, and I'm going to go pee.
Fair enough,
okay.
Marcus, you're up.
Fair enough. My number 1. Prince Zuko from Avatar The Last Airbender. Because he's fucking awesome. He has an arc very much like Vegeta's, where his redemption arc is basically the entirety of Avatar The Last Airbender. Because he starts basically hunting the Avatar to regain his honor, and you see that torched face. Yeah, Daddy Dearest said, you're a fucking little brat, and shot him in the face with fire when he dared challenge him. And it was like, yeah, you no longer have any honor, you're no longer my son, blah, 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 evil father shit, you know how that goes. So he's like, well, if I, capture the Avatar, kill the Avatar, then I'll regain my honor in the eyes of my father. And so he does this, and he goes on this trip with a bunch of troops and his uncle Iroh, the legendary General Iroh from, I can't remember what the war was, but from a war past. And Iroh's
wasn't it the Battle of Ba Sing Se?
Ba Sing Se, that's right. Yeah. And Iroh, it's actually a good guy because the Fire Nation's not supposed to be evil. It's just Zuko's father's a fucking dick and decided, you know what, I'm going to kill my father, take over, and make us the most hated nation in the world.
Yeah, I point to you with the Fire Nation, which they did a good job of later on in Legend of Korra. It's sort of, I can't believe I'm going to say this, it's sort of Harry Potter.
No?
Not all people who are in Slytherin are villains. It just happened that the ones in it at the time where Harry Potter were dicks.
Yes.
And there you go, Jim. I used Harry Potter for good.
Nice.
But yeah, so like Iroh's all like, dude, Zuko, don't be a dick. Your father torched your face. Why the fuck are you loyal to him? That's kind of the theme of Zuko and Iroh for most of Avatar. It's like, dude, you don't have an evil heart, and again, your father torched your face.
To be fair, that's not what Iroh was telling him.
He mentioned it.
He mentions that he tortured him, but Iroh's message was do what's right for you. If going back to your father's right for you, go back. I will support that. But if what's right for you is your own independence, do that. Because he's sort of guiding him into the right path, but without being so heavy-handed as to be like, oh yeah, to do it because your father melted your fucking face, you freak. Seriously, why don't you just take the name Two-Face now? Which I did like the fact that he wasn't flat out saying your father's a douche or anything. It was more like, your father doesn't always do what's best for you, think, Zuko. Maybe you do what's best for you. Listen to yourself. And I like that.
Yeah, I also like that he's like, he notices the conflict within Zuko because I think about like halfway through book 1 or season 1, they call them books for that. It's kind of cool. But he notices the conflict, and Zuko just has this conflict throughout most of Avatar until he finally joins up with them. He's like, I must do this for my honor. I must be evil. But then as he's doing these things, he keeps realizing, being evil kind of sucks.
He does. I like Zuko.
Yeah. And I chose this image because, in my opinion, this is at the point where he fully becomes redeemed, because at this point he's lost the ability to firebend because he's been evil for so long. It's like, for lack of a better comparison, it's like up to this point he had drawn on the dark side of the Force, and now because he's good, the dark side of the Force no longer answers to him, so therefore he can't firebend until he can learn to draw on the light side of the Force, which is effectively what he's doing here, learning how to firebend through balance instead of power and hatred. Which I'm like, that's kind of awesome. And then from this point forward, he's good. And I mean, it says it all in terms of redemption when at this point now he's like, okay, look, Avatar, go murder my father. I'll take care of my sister. And literally, he walks into the fucking palace, attempts to murder his sister, and actually, Katara ends with the one murdering his sister. But anyway, dethrones his sister and takes over.
No one murders his sister.
She just froze her, but yeah.
She has a mental breakdown because his sister's insane.
Yeah, his sister goes insane. He's like, yeah, I gotta make sure she doesn't become Fire Lord or we're all fucked.
Yep. I love Azula.
Azula was cool. But yeah, I love Zuko because he has a full redemption story, which I'm like, this is on a Nickelodeon cartoon, people. It's like, wow, that's impressive.
I will say, as a character, because I know you had him on your list, I prefer Vegeta. Zuko had a better redemption, though, because there was one thing they did on that one, Jim, because I'm not sure if you've seen it or not, but I thought was pretty clever, is about the end of book 2, beginning of book 3, he has every reason to go good. He has all the reasons to go good. So logically, what's he going to do? He fucks over the good guys and then regrets it instantly. And then that starts to build. He's like, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that. And then he goes and gets redeemed. And I'm like, if they didn't just it's not like Power Rangers where, oh, we defeated the evil Ranger, now he's good for no explicit reason when it's convenient. It's a case of, with this one, it's like, he struggled with it a few times. Like, at one point, he made it so Iroh wouldn't even talk to him.
Yeah.
Iroh just stopped talking to him once he fell in love with Azula's friend, the goth girl, and then ends up basically, was it Mai or something? And basically ends up doing you know what I mean? He ends up doing the wrong thing because he's struggling. Like, he's finally getting accepted from his accepted by his family. He's getting friends. He's getting everything he wants, but he's still realizing his actions are wrong. And I'm like, that's a beautiful story.
Yep. Well, and another couple things I also love about Zuko. One is his girlfriend, because his girlfriend for most of this is evil because she's best friends with fucking Azula and the other girl that they hang out with. But throughout the whole thing, she's not actually evil. Because throughout the whole thing, she's telling Zuko the pretty much same thing Iroh is. Look, you gotta be yourself. Don't, if you think your sister's a crazy bitch, then tell her she's a crazy bitch and tell her to fuck off. Kind of like, be your own man. It's like, I'm not in love with you because of your power or because of the fact that you can be Fire Lord. I'm in love with you because of you. And the instant he started losing who he was, she was like, dude, you're not you anymore. You need to be you.
Yep. And I will say,
that's kind of awesome.
I will say, because I can post it below, it's up to you if you click it or not, but I even like old Zuko in Legend of Korra.
Yeah.
Yep. Old man Zuko shows up because it's years later. And I think he looks awesome, but yeah.
He looks a lot like fucking Roku.
Yeah, he looks like his dad, and it's like he would do, and it's like, that's awesome. He looks like his dad, but good.
Yeah, like the Avatar Roku, which that's the other thing I loved of the fact that Iroh's like, you've been conflicted. I've seen it. You want to know why you're conflicted? And it's like, because your grandfather was the Avatar's best friend.
See, I was going with the other one. If you look at how his face is structured, it looks like his dad. It looks like his dad, but with Iroh's facial hair a little bit. Yeah. And I'm like, I like that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I love that they worked in that backstory that his grandfather was the Avatar's best friend until the Avatar became the Avatar, and his grandfather became a dick that just wanted power.
Yep.
And it's like Zuko's having this inner turmoil because the blood that runs in his veins is telling him to help the Avatar, not to fucking kill him. Which I'm like, that's kind of awesome. That there's that connection there. I also love that they do the whole. What's that?
At some point, we should review Avatar here.
We should. I also love the fact that they do at least one episode where they show the similarities between Zuko and Aang, which I'm like, that's kind of awesome. And I think that's kind of the beginning of the big ass redemption arc for him at that point, where it's like, oh shit, I'm not that different. Oh god.
Yep. He is my second favorite character.
Yeah, I love Zuko. Zuko's awesome.
My first is Azula. Like, I love that beach one where they went on the beach party, and she's like, no, I can do this. I can totally flirt with guys. And then she's talking to me, and she's like, oh, that was an inconvenience for you. Let me burn it all down to the ground. All psychotic. As the dude's like, whoa, and just backs the fuck off. I'm like, what the hell's this?
One thing I do love about that episode is you see him be evil and stuff, but like you'll see the scene of him like doing that psychotic laugh or burning something in the ground, and then immediately he does it too, but because he does like the fire stuff too, and he's all like kind of being evil, but then it immediately cuts to the scene afterwards, immediately following that, where you realize he's uncomfortable being evil. He's only being evil because, like you said, he's got that acceptance. He's with the woman he loves. He's with his sister.
Oh, yeah, that's
kind of cool.
Yeah, the episode I was on about was the beach one where they do volleyball and stuff, where he's not actually much in that. He's just sort of uncomfortably in the background through all of it, and to the point where Azula even teases him about his mother and stuff. And then we find out why he's the way he is a bit more, which his story is the most serious one that they tell around the campfire. But I don't know why I loved Azula trying to flirt. It was funny.
Yeah, that was a good episode. Just Yeah, we need to review this series, because this series as a whole is one of the best made series I've ever seen.
We could even do 2 if we can do Legend of Korra.
I'd have to watch it first.
As would I.
That series is awesome.
You still have to watch the first one, don't you, Jim?
I've seen some episodes here and there, but yes, I do.
Watch the whole thing.
Also, spoiler for Legend of Korra, but pro-lesbianism.
Indeed, indeed.
And that's not me saying, yay, or we want to see lesbians. I'm saying, yay, they're actually making it more adult than a lot of shows on Nick. Like, which Avatar and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are definitely the 2 most adult shows on Nick, and the best.
Yeah.
Agreed. And that says something when, a kids show on Nickelodeon can give us that, and we still can't get Swan Queen.
To be fair, we don't actually get a full thing. It's just really heavily hinted at, so kids wouldn't quite pick up on it because the network wouldn't let them go full out. But the people that write and stuff came straight out and admitted that's what we were going for. We're glad you all picked up on it because they had to make it a little bit more subtle. Which I'm like, fair enough. We can make it. You can do it where we get the point, we feel it, but you don't have to like shove it down everyone's throat by making it way too obvious. And I'm like, that's cool.
That works.
Right.
That works.
So yeah, Prince Zuko, or actually it's Fire Lord Zuko now, I suppose.
Yep.
He does take the title of Fire Lord, does he not, when he becomes the Emperor or King or whatever?
Yeah, when he becomes Fire Lord.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if maybe he changed it to make it not sound so evil, but fair enough.
Yeah, he's a Disney princess. He changed the name inexplicably to be Prince, despite the fact he should be King or Lord. He's like, nah, the Disney princesses do it all the time. They're inexplicably princess with no parents. It's cool.
No, I mean, I didn't know if he just changed it to just straight up like Emperor Zuko or King Zuko or something. Instead of Fire Lord.
No, he's like, I want to be Prince, and it's cool, Ang. I just want to be part of your world.
Oh, is that why Aang's not around in Korra? Is that why he killed himself?
Ang appears.
Oh, is he? I thought he was dead.
Or at least the son of Ang does.
Because I figured Aang would at least appear, because I would assume Korra would have that avatar moment of speaking to the previous avatars in the spirit world. I assumed Aang would show up for that, but...
Yeah.
No, Aang is dead, but there's a statue of him.
No, like Jess said, I believe at a certain point we do.
Okay.
But yes, back to Jim.
Yeah. Also, Aang's son is kind of an asshole.
Aang's son's cool. He's just in the mentor role when the person he's mentoring of Korra is a really rebellious, like, teen girl.
Fair enough.
I mean, it says it all when he's like, you should only use your bending for good. You need to practice it to master it to become an avatar. And she's like, yeah, that's cool, but I'm going to sneak out and go and compete in bending sports.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I can kind of see him having to be a stick in the mud.
Fair enough.
I believe it's me.
Yes, take us away, Mole, with your number 1, the final entry of the evening.
My favorite one of all time? Boom.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Well, yeah, I told you my list yesterday.
You told us you changed it.
I told you I removed the 2 that were duplicates with Marcus's list.
Okay.
Because they were the bottom 2. So I was like, I'll remove them and put some of the other ones because I was debating anyway. But,
Fair enough.
Boom! William the Bloody, also known as Spike.
See, he would have made my list if I'd actually seen the final season where he actually redeemed himself fully.
Yeah. Which, fun fact for you, Jim.
Mm-hmm.
He's called William the Bloody because of his bloody awful poetry, but he's called Spike because he tortures people with railroad spikes.
Nice.
Once he became a vampire, because he started as like this poet. But when we first see him, he's just this kick-ass evil villain that runs over the sign in a car and is with Drusilla, and he's just evil as fuck. He's just likes being evil. He's one of those like Cockney, I like to have fun characters. Then about season 4, because he was meant to die in season 2, but he was so popular that they decided, no, you know what, we're not going to let him die. We're going to keep him around. Season 4, he gets kidnapped by this like underground secret group. They plant a chip in his head. What the chip does means he can't hurt a human. He can only hurt demons. So he ends up joining the main good guys. Not through the idea of, oh, I'm now redeemed. It's through the thing of, I just want to hurt something. And that's all he can do. Then around season 5, he starts to get feelings for Buffy. Season 6, he's still got feelings for Buffy, and he's actually sleeping with her and stuff like that because she's been brought back from the dead and she's not been brought back quite right. Like, she's still slightly messed up, and Spike's sleeping with her. And he's becoming good, but he's not actually good because it's still, in everyone's mind, it's still the chip that's preventing him from being evil. He even mentions that a lot. End of season 6, he almost rapes Buffy.
Okay, then.
And she's like, well, tell me again why I could never love you. And he's like, oh God, I'm sorry. Like, because he can't control himself. He's pure evil. He has no soul. So he goes off. Then they do the thing of, he's like, yeah, so you'll give me what I want. You'll make me what I was so Buffy can get what she deserves. And everyone's thinking, and you think as an audience, oh, he wants the chip out. And the demon's like, fine, as you wish, I shall return your soul.
Hmm?
Yeah, he wished for his soul back. And you're like, what the fuck? And season 6, he's completely season 7, he's completely ass insane and living in a basement. He even mentions to Buffy, and she's like, why would you do this? He's like, why does a guy do what he must to be hers? And he tells her, like, Angel should have warned me. Because now everyone I've ever killed, everything I've ever done, it's in here talking to me. Which also doesn't help because he's in the location of the First, which has the ability to basically take the shape of any dead person.
Oh dear.
Or anyone who's ever died. Thus, you can see where that goes wrong. And throughout season 7, he actually becomes a good guy to the point. At one point, Buffy kisses Angel, and then he fucks back off to LA. But she mentioned an Angel, which is hilarious because she comes down the stairs and Spike's punching this punching bag where he's drawn on a piece of paper a vampire face with pointed hair up like Angel has.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my God. And she's like, what's wrong? He's like, you kissed Angel. And she's like, oh God, I forgot you're using your weird vampire senses. He's like, yeah, that and my ability to see. And she's like, oh. And then he's like, yeah, just go be with Angel. I understand it. You'd never be with someone like me. You just want to be with Angel. And she's like, you're completely mistaken, Spike. I realize you've grown. I don't want to be here without you. You're basically the true champion, and hands him the medallion Angel was going to use that can only be used by a champion, and she gives it to Spike. He's finally redeemed to the point where at the end of season 7, it ends with him, I'm going to use air quotes, killing himself to blow up the entire Hellmouth, which levels the whole city. But the heroes get away, but it's the only way to stop it for good, and it destroys the ultimate evil. I used air quotes because it turns out in season 5 of Angel, Wolfram and Hart made this magic amulet thing that basically, or Lindsay did, that basically means the vampire with a soul that uses it as a champion would be trapped inside it, not killed. Thus, Spike comes back as a ghost and becomes corporeal and stuff. But even on Angel, while he's constantly having a bickering thing with Angel, he's still a good guy. He still wants to see. He just wants to save the world, and it's like, it's awesome.
Nice.
It's like there's even a cool scene which I kind of loved where it's a little fun. It's a little on the nose-ish. Well, not on the nose, but it's a little selfish, but it's also really well done at the same time. Where Spike's finally free, he's finally corporeal. And when Andrew shows up in an episode, he mentions to him, wait, you're alive? Oh my God, why haven't you told Buffy? And he stops him and goes, don't. And he's like, what? Don't tell Buffy I'm alive. And she's like, what do you mean? He's like, come on. She finally told me she loves me and I died saving the world as a hero. I don't want to undo that by just falling off the back of a boat somewhere in Europe and be like, oh, hi, I'm alive. Let her remember me as the good man I was, and let me concentrate on becoming the good man that she believes I am. And I'm like, that's fucking awesome. Like, he's not just going to show up and have sex with her. Admittedly, the first thing he does when he goes corporeal instantly is he grabs Angel's secretary, takes her into the back room to go and have a nooner. Well, he's been a ghost, and he's not been solid, and he's been dead for a while, so it's like he has his urges. But yeah, him and Angel even have a pissing contest, sort of who saved the world the best, which is awesome. You even get an episode where he shows up at Wolfram and Hart's business meetings with Angel and puts a briefcase down and opens it up and stuff because he's the only one that shows up. And when Angel walks around the back of him, you see inside his briefcase is just 3 cans of beer. But yeah, Spike, he's badass, he's awesome, but yet inexplicably he became one of the greatest heroes on that show, and he's definitely my favorite character on that show, my favorite redemption.
Nice.
So Spike,
I approve.
I agree. Spike is also my favorite.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Which reminds me, I haven't seen it, but you guys should review Buffy at some point. I give you permission.
Mm-hmm. I want to review Buffy.
Fair enough.
I wonder if that's on anything I have, like...
It's on Netflix.
I was wondering if it's like on Hulu or something.
I'm not sure, but I know coming up next month, I'm not going to say definitely in case people listening and there's not one, but I should be reviewing one of the people from my list. I should be reviewing his show next month for Halloween.
Nice.
Boom! Next month, Vampire Diaries. I plan to review all 5 seasons and maybe the season 1 of the originals, the spin-off show. It just depends on scheduling with Anastasia Laserbeam and whether or not we can do that, but they are coming, people.
Nice.
Yep, so's Winter. I'm not holding my breath.
Well, it will either be in October for Halloween or it'll be next year for Halloween. I'm not going to do one of those shitty things where I'm like, it's the summer of and then inexplicably release stuff in spring. That'd be retarded. Or autumn or fall, depending on what you call autumn. That would be retarded if, like, it's the summer of something and then release it in autumn. Who does that? I mean, it can't be someone who likes things well organized and categorized properly. No.
Well, that'd be ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, also for next month, don't forget that the Laird of Phoenix is going to take a look at, and we may see some of these characters again. We're going to take a look at the top. Well, number one, we're going to take a look at the fall TV premieres of 2015, and we may talk about some of the. I haven't decided whether we're going to talk about returning shows or not, but well, I'll get there. Probably new shows, but we'll see. You never know.
And what's about time season 4?
Indeed, 5. And we'll talk to season 4. Will be reviewed also next month. Yes, and 1 month from now on the final.
5.
No, you were right. I was thinking you were talking about the one with Avery, but no, the one we're reviewing. I got confused.
Yeah.
Also, next month on the Final Countdown, we will be counting down the top 5 series or season premiere episodes of TV shows. So we may see some of these shows again. So stay tuned for that in the Final Countdown. And gentlemen, thank you for joining me, as always.
Now, I will have a question for you, Jim.
Okay.
Just so we can specify for people on the air, or the listeners or whatever. When we go to do the top 5 season premieres or series returns or whatever, does it matter if you haven't seen the episode when it did premiere? Like, does it matter if you just bought a box set, say, and are like, oh my god, I love this pilot episode?
No, that's fine. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you saw it when it piloted, as long as you saw it at some point. As long as you saw the pilot and you said, oh, this is a good opening episode. I mean, if you did see it when it first premiered, all the better, but I'm not going to require that because, really, who watches a show when it premieres anymore?
I do.
More power to you, then. I'm glad you had the time.
Well, I have DVR.
That's not when it premiered.
When it premieres, I record it. Thus, it's still the premiere thing recorded, and I can watch it like the next day or when I have time during the week.
Fair enough.
However, I will say I was just genuinely wondering because I know we only talk about the stuff we've seen, but I wasn't sure with this one if we had to have seen it when it premiered, so it made you go, "Oh my god, it's a great premiere," or whether or not you could watch it and just be like, "I like that episode," which is the first episode. So that's cool.
This is a good first episode. Either first episode of a series or the first episode of a season of a series. It doesn't necessarily have to be the actual premiere of the whole series. It could be, I like the season 3 premiere of this show or what have you.
Yeah, which that works. Also coming up on Larry the Phoenix this weekend, we're reviewing Power Rangers Dino Charge, the first, however many, like 5 or 8 episodes. I think it's 5 we're going to go to.
Indeed.
First 5 episodes. And Marcus Shadow debuts a new show that's tied directly into that.
Indeed. And it's called Franchised, where we're going to take a look at the aspects of a franchise, and in this case, we're going to be taking a look at Power Rangers as a franchise. And I'm trying to remember, I think it's like aspects that we like about it or something like that?
It's our favorite entity or favorite part of the franchise that we like, and our least favorite, which can include anything from a particular season, a movie, fandoms, merchandise, anything.
Absolutely, and it'll be an ongoing series. We'll take a look at different franchises and hopefully have some good discussions about franchises on down the road. And trust me, we will get to Disney. That is coming, people. I guarantee you. When? I don't know. Probably maybe for like the next summer of Disney, but it is coming.
I will make the case, is Disney a franchise?
Well, a Disney franchise. We'll be talking about Disney franchise.
I would say Disney franchises make sense. Like Marvel we could do, Star Wars we could do, or you know what I mean, stuff like that. But Disney as a whole, it's more of a company than it is a franchise.
Well, we could say like classic Disney, like for instance, like the Disney princesses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like it's, I could be like, that is the Disney franchise, but we'll come up with something.
The Disney studio or whatever Jim splits them into.
Exactly. Something like that, yeah. We'll go with it.
But we'll figure something out. Disney stuff is coming because, yes, we're going to discuss Disney.
Indeed. All right. So, with that, thank you, gentlemen, for joining me, as always.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
And until next month, I am James Phoenix, and this has been the Final Countdown.